Hey guys, it's John Colson here, and today I want to give you 2 tips for helping you to get more from your back row exercises. So it doesn't matter whether it's a one arm bent over row, a seated back row, a barbell bent over row, or a T-bar row. Anything like that involves you basically doing like a rowing type motion. So the first tip you want to think about is your hand position at the top of the movement. So one mistake I see people doing is when they're coming into rows and you see them just pull the weight straight up like this. What you want to be doing is think about pulling the weight up and back towards your hip. So instead of it coming straight up, it's coming back at more of a diagonal. And that's going to help to bring in the lat muscles here. So this also applies for when you're doing bent over rows. So from here, if you think about pulling straight up towards the chest, it's very difficult to bring in the back muscles that you want. What you want to do is think about pulling the bar up and back slightly. The bar should finish somewhere around your belly button and you'll feel your lat muscles get a lot more working. So the other tip is to watch your shoulder position when you're doing any kind of back row. What I see is very common, especially on the seated back row type exercises, is when people are rowing back, you'll see the shoulders kind of shrug up and round forward like this. So it'll look quite a strange movement. Now when they're doing that, instead of actually working the back muscles like they want to be doing, you're kind of more shrugging through the traps, which are usually already overactive, and you don't want to be working them even more. Plus, doing this isn't great for long-term shoulder health. So when you're rowing, you want to think about squeezing the shoulders back as well as pulling the weight towards you. And you can see the difference here is that it's keeping my shoulders down. And the other thing is also, you can try it yourself. If you bring your arm into that position, try and actually squeeze and bring in this lat muscle here. What I find is if I'm in that position, I can't even really engage it, let alone try and work it for an exercise. So that's something else to be careful of. So I'll show you how it looks when you're doing a row. So you'll see people, they go into position, and if the shoulder's coming forward, so I'm slightly exaggerating it, but you get the idea, I can't even feel my back muscles doing the work. Whereas if I focus on squeezing the shoulder back towards the ceiling as I bring the weight up, getting a much stronger contraction in the back muscles, I can really feel them working for the exercise. So there you have 2 tips to help you get more from your back row exercises. If you find that you've been doing them slightly incorrectly, either like bringing the hands too high or like rounding the shoulders when you do it, and you start doing it correctly, you should feel your back muscles get a lot more engaged.